In the frozen heart of northern Canada, deep within the barren tundra of Nunavut, there once stood a small Inuit settlement known as Anjukani village. Isolated from civilization, this remote community rested along the shores of Lake Anjukani, a place of haunting beauty, surrounded by endless snow, silent pine forests, and the cold winds of the Arctic. In November of 1930, a trapper named Joe LaBelle, a man familiar with the dangers and secrets of the wilderness, made his way toward Anjukani. He had visited the village before, he knew the families, the sound of laughter that echoed between the igloos, and the warm hospitality that often awaited him. But this time, what he found would haunt him for the rest of his life. As Joe approached the settlement, something felt wrong. The snow beneath his boots was untouched, no footprints, no sled marks, no signs of movement. When he reached the first igloo, he called out, "Hello." Only the wind replied. He entered cautiously. Inside, he found a small oil lamp still burning, its flame weak but alive, suggesting someone had been there recently. On the walls, handmade tools and fishing gear hung neatly, as if left behind intentionally. But there were no people. No sound. No movement. LaBelle went from hut to hut. Each was the same. Meals sat on tables as though interrupted mid-dinner. Furs and clothing were still neatly folded. There was no sign of struggle, no blood, no chaos, only the eerie emptiness of lives suddenly erased. When he reached the dog sled area, the horror deepened. A group of sled dogs lay motionless, frozen in the snow, dead from starvation, despite food stores being close by. It was as though their owners had vanished all at once, leaving everything behind. LaBelle felt a rising panic. The Arctic night was falling fast, and temperatures were dropping below -40 degrees Celsius. He quickly gathered what he could and raced through the wilderness to the nearest telegraph office, several miles away. When he buzz, he told they're gone. All of them. The entire village of Anjukani, just gone. The RCMP immediately dispatched a team to investigate. When they arrived at the site, they confirmed what Joe had said, the village was empty. Even stranger, they found no signs of a struggle, and no tracks leading away from the settlement, even though the snow was fresh. Inside the huts, they noticed something even more chilling. Personal belongings, knives, rifles, and provisions were untouched. Inuit hunters never left such essentials behind. Yet everything remained, perfectly preserved, as though frozen in time. As the investigation continued, one officer made an unsettling discovery. He visited a nearby burial site where the Inuit had kept their dead. When he arrived, he found that several graves had been opened, and the bodies were missing. The stones marking the graves were scattered, yet there were no signs of animals disturbing them. Then came the strangest report of all. That same week, a group of fur trappers traveling near the area claimed they had seen a glowing object in the sky, a blue light that hovered above the horizon before shooting upward and vanishing. They described it as unlike anything seen before. With no leads and no survivors, the RCMP could do little more than file a report. Their notes confirmed that the entire population, men, women, and children, had disappeared without trace. No bodies were ever found. No explanation was ever given. Years later, skeptics began to question the story. Some claimed the tale had been exaggerated by journalists of the time, particularly in the 1950s, when paranormal magazines loved stories of vanished villages. Others pointed out that the original RCMP archives contained no official record of the event, suggesting it might be an elaborate myth. But those who had spoken to descendants of the Inuit still believed. Local elders told stories of a shining spirit in the sky that had come to take their people away. They spoke of strange lights and a deep humming sound that echoed across the ice before the night went silent. To them, this was no myth, it was a warning. Some modern researchers suggest that mass migration could explain it. Perhaps the villagers fled due to starvation or sickness. But if so, why were there no footprints? How could dozens of people and their sleds disappear without a single track in freshly fallen snow? Others believe something more unnatural occurred. Theorists link it to UFO sightings, claiming the blue light was an extraterrestrial craft. There are even accounts suggesting that around the same time, similar glowing lights were seen in the Northwest Territories, accompanied by reports of missing reindeer and strange burn marks in the snow. A smaller group proposes an even darker idea, that Anjukani was part of a government experiment gone wrong. They argue that radio signals, radar testing, or psychological warfare experiments could have been secretly conducted in the remote north during that period. Yet, no evidence has ever surfaced to confirm it. The spiritual explanation, however, remains strongest among the Inuit themselves. They speak of Toongarsik, an ancient sky spirit believed to guide souls between worlds. In some legends, Toongarsik punishes those who disturb. Could the entire village have been taken as a form of spiritual retribution, or perhaps led into another realm entirely? Today, almost a century later, Lake Anjukani remains an eerie and desolate place. Modern travelers describe the same unsettling silence Joe LaBelle felt that day. No animals. No wind. Just the weight of the frozen air. Some say that at night, faint lights still flicker across the horizon, as though echoing the glow the trappers once described. And sometimes, when the northern wind howls through the pines, it carries what sounds like voices, soft, distant, and sorrowful, calling from somewhere far beyond the reach of this world. Whether myth or mystery, the vanishing village of Anjukani stands as one of the Arctic's greatest enigmas, a haunting reminder that even in our modern age, there are places where the truth remains buried beneath the ice. If you want to explore more chilling unsolved mysteries from around the world, subscribe and hit the notification bell.